Namaste and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology Debunking Mythology. Sattology means science or truth, the study of truth. The opposite of that is mythology, which means science or study of fake, clever imagination. So I've got one of my favorite guests on the show today, और उनके साथ हम सीखेंगे about engines. और ये F-35 का इंजन F-35 खड़ा हुआ है केरल में 5 दिन से, और उसको अभी हैंगर में डालने से भी मना कर दिया ब्रिटिश एयरफोर्स ने. इसे लूरेनबर्ग लेंस के साथ आया है, तो इसका मतलब ये ट्रेनिंग सॉर्टी पे है. इट वाज सपोज्ड टू बी डिस्कवर्ड लॉस्ट एट सी. चलिए वो सब जानते हैं. लेट अस वेलकम प्रतीक धवन फ्रॉम डीजी इंजीनियरिंग. नमस्कार.
थैंक यू. नमस्कार. थैंक्स फॉर हैविंग मी.
इज इट फनी फॉर यू कि ये इंजन एयरक्राफ्ट आ गया, कैसे भारत में लैंड हो गया, खड़ा हुआ है वहां पे?
Yeah, it's quite strange. I mean, think about it. It's one of the most expensive aircrafts, and it's just stranded there. I mean, under the elements. 5 दिन हो गए, 6 दिन हो गए उसे. It's not even moving. They denied all the requests from the Indian government to get it under a hangar or something. I mean, I don't know what's going on. It's crazy.
क्या वो लोग टेक्नीशियंस ढूंढ रहे हैं कि उसको फिर करेगा कि कोई ब्रिटेन से या यूएस से?
I think it's kind of maybe. I've heard कि उन्होंने technicians भेजे हैं from Britain. I don't know what's wrong. I mean, the history of this aircraft hasn't been too good. I mean, it's really difficult to maintain. It's really costly. I mean, I don't remember the exact numbers. Uh, per hour, I think it cost about like $30,000-$40,000 just to operate it, maybe even more. So I don't know what's going on with their aircraft. I think there's something quite wrong with it. I think there's some issues with the hydraulics or something. Or maybe they just sent it because they want to allure Indian government ki haan, this is what you want. We'll just keep it there, and you just keep looking at it and make your mind. I don't know. It's kind of a really expensive showpiece right now.
Must be very embarrassing to the engineers, right? The UK government said it. It's embarrassing. Don't take pictures.
Oh yeah, it's all over the news, right? It's embarrassing for both US and UK, I guess. I mean, this is the aircraft you were projecting, projecting to the Indian government, you buy this one, and now it's all stranded there, right? I mean, what sort of a message that conveys? It's really really annoying, I think, for a lot of engineers working in that company, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny actually. As an engineer, if you think like this, it's like embarrassment to you. Total embarrassment.
If I would have worked on that project, I mean, I will not want to see that aircraft in the news. Yeah.
So what's happening on your side, on DG propulsion side? What have you, like we spoke 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So how you think, what has happened since then?
Lot of progress. I mean, we are getting close to the flight trials, which is a really really big thing for us. We are launching more engines pretty soon. We are launching updated versions of our previous engines. So the thing is, you learn as you test the engines, as you get out in the field, right? You learn, okay, we can make the serviceability of these engines better, because our customers, I mean, they want quick turnaround, right? They cannot wait because it's mission critical for them, these engines being used on their UAVs and all. तो हम जितना ज्यादा टेस्ट कर रहे हैं, हम उतना ज्यादा डेटा कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, हम उतना ज्यादा सीख रहे हैं उससे कि हम कैसे इस चीज को और ज्यादा बेटर कर सकते हैं. मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट, दिस इज, आई डोंट नो इफ यू कैन सी इट.
I can see it.
Nobody has seen this before. This is the latest version of our engine, so probably you're the first one who has seen this.
Thank you.
This is being released pretty soon, and lot of progress. I mean, Indian ecosystem में बहुत ज़्यादा हलचल मची हुई है. After OP Sindoor, I mean, there have been inquiries left, right, and center. Everybody wants to build a drone now. The drone warfare is right here. We are living through that era now.
So India is a leader in drone warfare. Is safe to say now कि ecosystem
India
is very good?
India will be pretty soon, with the amount of emphasis that's been put on this drone warfare. I think India will be the world leader in this pretty soon.
Marine drones as well, or just air?
Everything. You talk about unmanned aircraft, we'll be leading that.
तो अभी आपको यूएस में सक्सेस मिला कि नहीं मिला अभी यहाँ पे?
Well, I cannot disclose everything, but definitely. Uh, Actually, after whatever has been going on between US and China, the tariffs and everything, everyone in US wants to get out of China as soon as they can, right? So the next destination is India, and we are. I mean, I was working on this. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि मैं फ्यूचर देख सकता हूँ, लेकिन everybody who enters into some business, they have to take some calculated guesses, right? You do a lot of market research, and then you find out, okay, this is something that we may need in next 10, 20, 30 years. What I imagined 10 years ago, it's happening right now. Everybody wants to enter Indian market, and they want Indian made products now.
So, like, if you look at the qualitative edge or qualitative features, how do you compare India to US drone industry, Israeli drone industry, or Chinese drone industry, or even Russians?
See, I've read a lot about China. People who have worked in China. I've known people who have worked in China. I've worked at companies that have sourced a lot of material and parts and machinery from China. China itself has a very huge capacity to build things, uh, and that's it goes both ways. I mean, high quality things and lower quality things as well. Whereas in India, we are stepping up now. I think we are in that stage where we are stepping up the capacity now. Uh, वो दिन गए 10-15 साल पहले जब when we could not make any high class machinery. Now we are stepping up the game. It's kind of slowly and steady, but we'll get there pretty soon. I'm betting 100% on the future of India in manufacturing.
Abhi recently, ISRO also released their PSLV rocket engine technology to
Right.
private vendors. They sold it to
Yeah.
511 crores.
Yeah.
So, is that an opportunity for you to collaborate with ISRO and other places, or not? They're not in the industry for yours.
I mean, we are not focusing on the rocket industry per se, right now. But I mean, the thing is, you have to look at it this way. If PSU like ISRO is releasing something to the private players, it itself means a lot for everyone in that industry, right? May it be jet engines, propulsion, may it be rocket industry. So that means those floodgates are open now. All of the experience that people in DRDO and ISRO and other PSUs they have collected over, I don't know, cumulative, they may have hundreds of thousand hours of experience, right? You calculate how many engineers, how many scientists are working at ISRO. So collectively, they have so much experience. And if they decide to release that experience to the private players, I mean, I can't even imagine what's going to happen after that.
So in when I look at the drone applications and the warfare, so drone applications are much more widespread than the civilian space. Military space is more prominent than the civilian space,
Right,
but obviously civilian industry gains from the military advancement. They gain
right,
from it.
right.
So how does South America feature in all these things? Like south of Mexico.
They have been silently playing along. There's not a whole lot of noise coming from that part of the world. And I haven't explored that part of the world as well too much, to be honest. We haven't heard too many companies coming up from that area, mostly. But we know Brazil. If you consider Brazil to be in that part,
Yeah.
Brazil is pretty big when it comes to aircraft industry. I mean, they have their own. They are one of the few countries which have their own aircraft manufacturers after Europe and US and China now as well. So we should learn from a country like Brazil. If they can manufacture their own aircraft, right? Why cannot we do it in India?
Natural. It's natural because if they can do it, then we can do it also here.
Oh,
उनका
definitely.
market तो mostly India ही रहेगा, Asia ही रहेगा.
Yes.
Because how
Yes.
much South American countries can buy.
Right. Right.
So in the engine which you showed me just now intrigued me actually. Now I'm going to search it out on Google. So,
There's no picture of this thing on Google yet.
okay, then show me again one more time for the audience.
So it's the camera is blocking it, but I mean it's a really nice, cool looking engine. We have reduced the number of parts in this engine tremendously, which obviously means we can lower the cost now. अगर number of parts कम होंगे, uh, raw material need will be less. We can service the engine pretty fast. The turnaround time will be really low. So yeah, that's how we are progressing in this field.
And endurance will be how much in the year?
Endurance, it can be anything. I mean, it depends upon the application. We can send this drone with this engine to 5, 6, 700 kilometers at least, with this engine fitted on it.
And yeah, this is phenomenal. 500-600 kilometers is a lot.
Oh
It
yeah,
can
it's
cover the
quite a
whole
bit.
Pakistan.
And I mean, you have to think about the speed this thing is flying at, right? I mean, I'm talking about speeds excess of 300 to 400 kilometers per hour. So that's a
Wow,
lot of speed.
that's the
That's a lot of
speed.
speed. Yeah.
Yeah, normal helicopter goes in that speed actually,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and this is small.
Yeah. This is pretty small. So the
Very small.
the radar cross section and everything is going to be really low. It's almost going to be invisible to the radar.
It's a long range. It's a long range. So it's a low altitude or high altitude?
I would place this in medium to low altitude.
Mm.
Uh, there are versions of this that can fly at high altitude, so we'll get to that eventually. But this is medium to low altitude.
And how light it is? Because you are lifting it like this.
Oh, it's mm, to be exact, 3.6 kilograms. It's nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a real engine, not a mock-up, right?
Oh, this one is a mock-up. This one is
Yeah,
all the parts and everything. This is a mock-up. The real engine will be produced pretty soon.
yeah. Amazing, amazing. Congratulations, actually.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing it on Sattology for the first time.
Yeah, it was right here on my desk, so I was like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to show it.
What's the name of this engine?
Well, I mean, naming convention is pretty simple. It's DGJ40-2.
40-2.
Yeah. So we already
DGJ.
released J40. So DG is the company name. J means jet engine. 40 is the kilogram thrust, and dash two is this is a version 2 of the engine. So we already released a J40 already.
So I'll say our all the drone manufacturers, because we have wing wing. I have to be group captain. Sorry, titles are very important.
Hmm.
Group title is group captain Augustine Vinod. If sir, if you're looking at it, then this is probably for your company because he's into drone manufacturing. So
There you
okay,
go. That's a
yeah,
good thing. Yeah.
yeah. So now, if you look at the coming to the incidents which are happening around, and also you see F-35 being not so effective in many areas right now, and all the things you're seeing, how do you see the application of drones changing? Because everybody is now looking for drone warfare is a common warfare now.
Well, this has been a debate for a long time. Manned aircraft versus unmanned aircraft. The thing is, with the manned aircraft, the number of certifications you have to do, the number of checks and balances you have to keep in mind of, they are really different than what how you certify an unmanned aircraft. Because obviously, in a manned aircraft, there is always a risk of there is the life of the pilot at stake, right? So you really have to certify that thing to the maximum. Whereas the conditions for unmanned aircraft, they're not as strict as for a manned aircraft. Number one. Number two, since it's an unmanned aircraft, it can pretty much fly whatever the way you want it to fly, right? It can go to places where obviously you don't want to send your pilots to. It can go deep into the enemy territory. Somebody can shoot it down. I mean, there's essentially no risk, right? Nobody is gonna die, right? You're just controlling it off a remote location safely inside your own country within your own borders. So I think unmanned aircraft is the future, but I'm not saying they're gonna replace the manned aircraft right away, like in next 2 years or something. So what we are looking at is a hybrid kind of a warfare where you will be using, I mean, there will be use of manned aircraft, of course, all these fighter jets and all, but we'll be using lot of UAVs in sort of a hybrid configuration where they call them, I forgot the word, wingman configuration is what they call it. So what you can do is you can send the UAVs before you send the fighter jets. Like UAVs can, you can literally send swarms of UAVs, like hundreds of UAVs together. How many can the enemy shoot, right, at a given point of time? Even if your hit ratio is 10%, and if you send hundreds of thousands of these, you can still hit the enemy target. I mean, think about it. Even if 10 out of 100 UAVs they hit the target with the explosive, we are talking about a lot of damage, right? And then they can almost, saturate the enemy radars and everything, and that's when you get your fighter pilots in. So this is the kind of warfare we are expecting, and it's already happening. It's already happening out in the world.
And how much weight can this carry with this engine of yours?
It again depends upon the kind of drone you fit it into. It can be a low speed drone which can carry probably 70 to 100 kilograms of weight
That's a lot.
in whatever form, or it can be a light drone which can carry 15 to 20 kilograms of special sensors and cameras and stuff like that.
Now, the how are the reconnaissance? You said mentioned cameras. So reconnaissance is how is that?
So we are talking to manufacturers who can build uh, drones which are literally almost invisible to the radar systems and all. The drone is built in a way that you know it's, the cross section is really really low. I mean, we are talking about cross section of a small bird or even lower than that. So we can use these engines in drones which have high reconnaissance abilities, and you can send these drones to deep in the territory and get the relevant data from the army grounds of the enemy.
You must have seen American drones also, very heavy
Yeah,
military drones.
yeah,
Like they almost like a regular aircraft. I mean,
yeah.
man can sit inside them.
Right, right.
So, do you think that kind of? I mean, India also has similar drones coming up, and recently, I think Adani Group signed an agreement also, or up something like that. So, what do
For
you?
sure,
Mm.
for sure. I mean, we at DG Propulsion, our vision is pretty clear. We'll be making bigger engines for bigger drones in coming months and years. That's where we are focused at. So a lot of these drones will be high altitude drones and with lot of lot more endurance than what I'm talking about right now. So this thing can literally loiter for many hours at a stretch. The fuel burn is going to be really low for the engines we'll be building. So I definitely see there's a huge potential for even bigger drones with bigger payload capacities and all in coming future.
So, are you also exploring the solar part of it, the solar power or battery powers like the lithium?
So not the solar power, but definitely hybrid electric powered, where a small engine can generate enough power to keep the batteries charged and all, right? And it can help during the takeoff and landing part of it. And while it's cruising, when you don't need that much thrust, it can shift to power generation mode and it can charge the batteries, and you can keep on flying using low power batteries and motors, and that will extend the range of the drones as well. So that's called a range extender configuration, so we are targeting that as well.
So, there is one term used everywhere called kill switch in
Hmm.
engines.
Hmm.
Americans use it a lot. So, for Indian Air Force, will you give them a kill switch, or can you design a kill switch in the engine? How easy is that?
Well, well, we already have a kill switch for our engine, so we can give that kill switch to anyone who asks for it, especially our forces. So it can literally, as as the word suggests, it can kill the engine right away. I mean, it can shut the engine down, and then. But I don't know what the application would be for that. Probably if it lands into the hands of somebody that you don't want it to be, you can kill the system and engines and everything. But yeah, that's doable. I mean,
Yeah, that's
we are making all the control system for our engines as well, so we can pretty much do anything we want with our engines and our control
That's an
systems.
advantage, right? You have,
Right,
when you design your own engine, you can
right,
program, and that's what Americans have done.
right, right. And
You
that's
know, I have
something I've learned from working in with American companies, that they have full control over their product,
full
right?
control.
Full control, and that's the most important thing. I mean, you cannot be buying parts from all the countries and then, you know, try to match them together and they don't work. They don't work as nicely as they are expected to. So you need to have vertical integration, especially in the defense industry.
Yeah, that's why the American products also not so successful now, because of the kill switch and all these things. Germany rejected the F-35s,
Right.
and many other companies are also doing that.
Yeah.
So you answered my question, because it can be done. So
It can be
that
done.
was my problem with the FedEx,
Yeah.
because FedEx is digitally controlled, and
Oh yeah.
digital means anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, being a software guy, I know how to
Right.
put some. All those things can be done easily.
Yeah.
So that's why I was always not in favor of GE404 IN-20
Mhm.
FedEx,
Right.
and the US Air Force doesn't use it. Also, they don't buy FedEx controls
Yeah.
engines.
Right.
So if you look at the overall market post Operation Sindoor, and also I'm saying Operation Sindoor is a new benchmark now, because
Right.
India has shown that they are the masters of this game too.
Yeah.
Nobody had believed India before.
Nobody would have. Yeah.
Nobody would have, but they have shown. Indian Air Force has shown. Plus, the Indian Air Defense has shown its uh, class in a way.
Right. Right.
Like they're kind of more effective than Iron Dome in many ways.
Oh, they have outclassed. They have outclassed it. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but I mean, we are talking about more than 95% or even 98%. We intercepted almost all the drones. I just heard about one or two scenarios where the drones were actually able to hit the civilian ground, but they were really, really effective. I mean, nobody would have believed that before that, before the
More than
operation.
foreign media, Indians did not believe it.
Oh
They
yeah,
can do this much.
right,
You
right,
we were pleasantly surprised. Yes,
yeah,
right. So when you look at because you follow this very closely, you're in the industry. When you look at the threat of drones for civilians, or people misusing drones for attacking civilians, obviously civilians are part of the nation too, so they have to
right,
bear the brunt of that, whatever happens to the country.
right.
So what do you see is the threat increasing or decreasing, or how do you see this type of technology getting misused over a period of time?
Well, that's kind of true with anything, right? I mean, uh, the more the technology is developed, the higher the chances are that it will end up in hands of the bad people who will misuse it and who will misuse it on civilians. So the risk is always there, and I think the risk is increasing with more drones coming out in the market, and and we have seen that happen in the European war. I don't want to call out the name of the countries, but we already know who are fighting out in Europe, right? So they are essentially using the same drones that we have seen, in these marriage functions and all, which are used to take videos and all. They can literally make their own drones now pretty cheap, and then they can attach a small 5 or 10 kilogram explosive to it that is good enough to kill one or two people at close range. So that is that is mind blowing. I mean, you think about it. There's so many videos coming out from Europe, from the battlefield. I mean, you're talking about
FPV drones.
FPV drones. I mean, you can literally order parts online and you can build your own FPV drone.
The
That's
kits come from China, Temu.
Oh yeah,
Aladdin.
yeah. It's really simple to build. I remember 4 years ago, one of my neighbors, he was building FPV drone, but he was building it for just for the hobby sake and all. And we used to chat quite a bit because I was working on jet engines and he was quite interested on that as well. I mean, literally, you can build it in a garage and you can fly it to anywhere you want it to. That's the risk.
So for the viewers, I'll also say ki, in English and Hindi, I'll say both. Ki you will be very. It's a great opportunity for you to join this revolution, even as a intern. Get your
Right.
hands dirty, because that's
Right.
your begin. No, not everything should start at a high salary price.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Get your hands dirty, like a ITI. So those skills are also good. ITI engineering skills people are doing
Anything related to manufacturing is good. I mean,
anything.
anything that can produce jobs in manufacturing that can help us manufacture more and more, it's good. I mean, somebody has to run the machines, right? Somebody has to build the products. Somebody has to do the coding. I know AI is really good at coding. Uh, Somebody has to fly these drones, right? Somebody has to assemble these drones. Somebody has to test these drones. There's a lot of things happening in manufacturing. So anything related to manufacturing is good, and we need it.
i- Isn't lathing anything simple things
Oh
like
yeah,
lathe,
yeah, yeah,
working on a lathe machines. I am a very hands-on guy. I love to do my own things.
yeah.
तो मैं कुछ भी बना लेता हूँ फिर उसको टेस्ट करता रहता हूँ.
Right.
Is my old habit.
Yeah.
So we recently I made a for my cutting my grass. I just made some homegrown
Okay. Nice.
using a motor on the ground. Uh,
Okay.
दिखाऊंगा मैं आपको.
Okay.
It works.
Right.
Initially I thought it wouldn't work. It works.
I mean, that's the joy, right? I mean, you make something and then it works. And even if it doesn't work in the first go, even if you get it working in second or third time, I mean, that's how you enjoy it.
Ah, enjoy. Like I used the old grass mower,
Right.
converted that into remote controlled mowing. This is good fun.
In my history of testing jet engines and making them and manufacturing them, it's you'll be very lucky if something runs in the first time, right? I mean, you'll be really really lucky to get that. I mean, you make engines, you build everything, theory says everything is working, all the calculations are perfect, right? I mean, everything should be working on paper, but then getting the actual hardware working is, it's like, if I have to put a number to it, it's like 10 versus 90. 10% is the theory. Okay, all the physical and chemical calculations are working. They're all good and all. Paper पे सब काम कर रहा है. लेकिन 90% of the task is to get it manufacturing and get it working after that.
Because you make jet propulsion engines.
Right.
What about the copters, quadcopter kind of machines?
So quadcopters, they come into the electric category. Obviously, they have four motors. That's why they're called quadcopters. We are not building them, but we can use our engines, like I said, in the hybrid arrangement, where really large quadcopters. I'm not talking about the small ones. So really large quadcopters with really high payload capacity, we can
Mhm.
help them take off vertically because of the really high thrust to weight ratio of these engines, and then we can generate electricity using these engines and charge the batteries while the quadcopter they do the hovering and everything else.
No, you answered my second question actually. VTOLs.
Yeah,
So that
that's
was
kind of the go-to market. Yeah,
go to market is VTOLs, vertical takeoff, and
yeah.
so the my one of my favorite is V22 Osprey. हम
Hmm.
लोग इधर उड़ता रहता है. So I love that machine.
Okay.
Dangerous है. There are many accidents in that machine,
Yeah, yeah.
but it looks very cool.
So it's
Gets up
impressive
vertically,
machine, right? Yeah, yeah,
massive, massive
yeah.
machine. So we have in San Diego, we have plenty of them here on
Okay.
the marine base. So they keep on flying, hovering. They
Right.
cannot stand still though. They have to move.
Okay. Okay.
The weight is too high. So my last question to you is like Operation Sindoor, you already mentioned it is going to explode explosion in this industry, especially.
Right.
And Indian drone manufacturers did very well.
Right.
Nagastra, many of them did very well.
Right.
Loitering ammunition also did very well. So, so when you look at this industry shaping up, what is the value you're looking at? Like in dollar terms or rupee terms, how many thousands crore rupees or dollars, millions of dollars?
It's billions of dollars. It's not millions. It's billions. Billions with a B. Uh, it's a huge
Who are the
industry, and
major buyers? Who are the major buyers?
uh, see, the thing with the drone industry is the convergence is always going to be at the government is the major buyer, right? So you can go through different channels, you can go through multiple private partners and all, but eventually it's going to be sold to the government. So either you go through one private company which is a drone manufacturer, you go through another private company which is an airframe manufacturer, or you make your own airframes and engines. you eventually are going to end up in the hands of the defense only. So the convergence is all going to be there. But it's see, what I'm thinking is we are just seeing the start of an era right now. It's really beginning. I mean, we at DG Propulsion are probably in the top five of the companies who are building something in the defense world, right? I mean, uh, pretty much first or second when it comes to the jet engines. So it's not even we have not even reached that category of the real competition right now, right? This thing is going to be huge in coming years, and not only jet propulsion. I mean, jet propulsion may be a small part, but we are talking about bigger and bigger engines, even getting up to the civilian category, even getting up to the turbofan engines and all. So this thing is going to be huge. And then eventually there is hybrid electric market as well. That's going to be a huge thing. So we have already seen that happen in the automotive industry, where we had these uh, uh, the legacy machines, the IC engine, piston engines, which were running on diesel and petrol and gasoline, right? And then people thought, okay, one day it's gonna come, and then we'll all move to electric. But it never happens like that. You have to bridge the gap. So it's not gonna be like we're gonna be fully electric in next 5 years. It never happens that way, right? So you have to bridge the gap with hybrid electric setup. So that's where most of these jet propulsion, uh, hybrid jet propulsion technology will take effect as well. So it's a huge market.
No, all the best for that. और मैं तो चाहता हूँ कि more such comes and शायद America. How many manufacturers of engines must be there in USA for this category of yours category?
You will be astonished to know very few. I mean, we will have more manufacturers in India than in US in probably coming years.
Wow,
Uh, Very few engine manufacturers. Matter of fact, you will see pictures of uh, you know these drone manufacturers in US. Some of the really popular companies, and when you look at the engine, that's a Chinese engine, right?
Chinese.
So that almost shows what's going on. I know GE built small engine many years ago, but I never saw them out in the open. Right? They're not. They probably built a couple of them, and that's about it. Uh, there are a few other defense companies. I know there's this defense company. Sorry, I forgot the name.
The
Kratos.
consolidate. Mm.
Kratos Defense.
Kratos Defense. Okay. K.
K. Yeah, Kratos with the K. They bought a company based off of Michigan. They were making these small engines as well, but nothing came out. So the the game is gonna be you have to be really competitive on the costing part of it, because we are talking about UAVs that can literally go down and kill themselves and attack the enemy, right? So you cannot you probably don't you can always do that, but you don't want to destroy $1 million UAV, right? That does not make any sense. So it has to be really cost effective. It has to fulfill its goals, fulfill its mission, and that's why I mean it's really hard to make competitive engines here in the US.
No, US industry is Chinese dependent. I don't know how they're going to decouple. I have no idea.
It's going to be challenging. I mean, they make very nice products, right? I mean, US. I mean, they're making talk about General Electric. They make really nice engines, but that's a different category. We are talking about totally different world, different category at all.
No, no, they do make good engines. I mean, the Cirrus planes. I love Cirrus planes.
Yeah.
Those are good engines. So actually, very. How about Canadian market? Canadian European market.
European market is growing quite a bit because they are trying to decouple themselves from US in certain way, not from the business standpoint, but from the security standpoint. So they want to build their own security ecosystem. So the market that was sort of slow some years ago, it's picking up speed now. So you'll see a lot of defense companies and startups coming out of from Europe as well, and you will see a lot of opportunity for manufacturers in India to be able to sell to Europe market in coming years. So that market, that part of the globe, is also opening up to more defense, product intakes and all.
Africa, we never touched Africa.
Right. Africa is, uh, honestly, I've not researched anything about Africa yet. My goal has been to
Nigeria
visit,
has a good industry on that. Nigeria and South Africa.
but I know that it's uh, India wants to sell a lot of things to the African nations as well. Because number one, they need low cost products as well, and we can make low cost product after China. So I think that's going to be a good market as well.
No, India is always seen as a quality vendor, quality
Right.
company.
Right.
In Africa also, Indian bikes replace Chinese bikes.
Right.
South America also, Indian motorcycles replace Bajaj. Is will find Pulsar everywhere in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we
So
are slowly and steadily letting go of that jugaad mindset as well. The new generation, they understand what quality means because they themselves want quality products, and that comes from you know you learn about the entire world, right, with the internet and everything and the social media. Every youngster in India, they know what's happening in US, what's happening in Europe, what's happening not in China probably, but what's happening in other parts of the world. So they also expect to be treated the same way. They also want the same quality products, right? Everybody wants an iPhone, right? Everybody wants a Google Pixel or something because that's a high quality device, right? So if they want high quality devices, and if they start producing something, they'll probably produce high quality devices as well because they know what it means.
yes, true. It's a natural thing.
It's an actual
And
thing.
once you get used to it, yes.
It's difficult to
Thank,
go back.
thank you so much, Pratik, and sharing your success now. And congratulations.
Thank you.
And for viewers, this is a place to get in. This is a good place. It's going to grow. And abhi to it is mostly defense, company, government, but it's going to private sector too in a big way.
Right.
Delivery and most of things, many things can be done.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining, and do let us know your feedback. Like, share, subscribe, and let us know your feedback.
Thank you.
Namaste. Okay.